Well, just when you thought that the Super League idea would be dead right now, I guess the Super League idea is back, and it seems like right now that it could happen. That's right. So let's talk about it here in this video, because obviously it's been all over the news. It's been a crazy week for football. Manchester City, they are in turmoil, and the Super League, it seems like that is not going to go away anytime soon, even though the idea 2 years ago was scrapped. It seems like it's back. It just came back from the dead, you know, like a phoenix rising from the ashes. That's what it feels like with this Super League right now. It's that just when you think it's dead and gone, the idea, nope, just gonna rise like a phoenix from the ashes, and it's just going to reintroduce itself. And yeah, so in my honest opinion, let's be honest here, you know, if there's one thing I've learned about football right now, with me being a football fan, is that the future of football, it's going to be all about money. Okay, let's be honest here, man, you know, just because if there's one thing that I miss about football from a decade ago, 10 to 15 years ago, is that it was competitive. You know, it was not about the money back then. Okay, back then it was about being a good team, trying to focus on winning the Champions League and all that stuff. And especially like the level of competition in football, especially in the Premier League, I feel like it's kind of declined in these last 10 to 15 years. Maybe that's just me, but, you know, let's just say I feel like football was in a better position 10, 15 years ago than now. Because let's be honest here. You know, this Super League thing, it's going to ruin football. Okay, it will. And, you know, with me just doing my research on this, I realized that, you know, obviously a lot of this has to do with the Premier League, you know, and the other leagues' jealousy of it. Because obviously, out of all the European leagues in Europe, the Premier League, it generates the most revenue out of any league. You know, whether it's La Liga, the Serie A, the Bundesliga, Premier League, it generates the most money. And I guess other leagues have become super jealous of the Premier League, that they are now pushing the idea of the Super League to happen as a way just to see if they can match up with the Premier League in terms of revenue. And this is what I feel like it's going to be the future of football, unfortunately. And this is the unfiltered truth, okay? Because I don't want to sugarcoat this. I feel like that football in the future, it's going to just be all about money, okay? Especially like with all these rich owners, and it's just the idea of not playing for a Champions League just doesn't make sense to me, because just like it seems like they are just trying to abolish the idea, well, maybe that not entirely, but the idea of never playing for a Champions League again. That's just going to ruin football, because you see, the reason why people tune into football is so that they can watch the Champions League too. Okay, Champions League is what makes watching club football interesting, rather than just, you know, the domestic competition and all that. Champions League, you know, it's the main reason why everybody's a football fan, and just the idea of not playing for a Champions League just doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't, man, because it's like Champions League, I get excited for it every year. I always hope my teams will go far and all that, and that's what makes me a football fan. It's just the having the basically the privilege of being able to watch the Champions League and just you know, just see who's going to raise that trophy. Like, that's the reason why I'm a football fan and all that. And if that were to, you know, be gone, then I don't know what I would do as a football fan, because I would feel pretty shocked and pretty devastated as a football fan, if I'm being honest here. Because, you know what, man, this whole thing, you know, especially with just how the Super League, with how they're just trying to push out the Super League, they're doing that because they realize, okay, it's going to make them a lot of money. And, you know, like I said before, man, this is what I'm afraid that really the future of football is going to be about for the for all the owners, for all the owners that own the big six Premier League clubs, you know, and especially the Barcelona and the Real Madrids. It seems like right now that it's just going to be all about money, and there's nothing we can really do about it as football fans, unless, of course, a very powerful figure comes in and blocks the Super League again, or just, you know, just completely tries to stop the Super League from actually taking place into effect, like how it was stopped 2 years ago. But it's just making a comeback, man. And this is just the really sad part about the future of football, is that I really miss the days when football was not just about the money, okay? When it was just about the passion, the intensity, the drive, the focus to win, you know? Well, maybe it's still there. Maybe I'm being a little dramatic here in this video, but still, man, you know, 10, 15 years ago, there was none of this Super League BS, because, you know, I grew up in 97, and with me being able to watch a lot of football greats like Ricardo Kaká, Cristiano Ronaldo at Real Madrid, Messi at Barcelona, who else? I'm trying to think of another football greats. Nemanja Vidic for Manchester United, Wayne Rooney, and all that stuff. You know, back then, everybody was just playing football. You know, none of this Super League and all that stuff. And nowadays, just the idea that, you know, the future footballing generation, you know, the future footballing fans will just only be introduced to the Super League is just really just seems like it's just unexplainable and just really not real anymore. Okay, that's what it feels like with football sometimes, is that football doesn't feel like football at times, but just, man, the Super League, I'm still against the idea of the Super League. I hate it. I don't know why the hell it's here, but it's here to stay. And I feel like there's nothing we can really do about it as football fans, because regardless, at the end of the day, hey, for the football owners, if that's how they make their money, then I guess that's how they are going to make the money. And the problem is, man, is that corporate greed is ruining football, in my honest opinion, you know, because everybody is looking at the Premier League now, and they're like, yo, look how much money the Premier League is generating, you know, everybody's watching the Premier League, nobody wants to watch our leagues, it's not fair. And that's what it really feels like with the Super League stuff being reintroduced, is just a way to compete with the Premier League and see if you can outperform the Premier League in terms of money being generated. That's really what they're trying to push right now in the faces of all the football fans. And I wonder, is anybody even going to watch this Super League? Because I highly doubt anybody's going to want to watch this Super League stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure that nobody is really thrilled with the idea of the Super League happening, because everybody just knows that it's just a way for all the football owners just to fill up their pockets even more. So yeah, this is my take on the whole Super League thing, and it's just freaking ridiculous. That's all I gotta say. See ya.